Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. So my name's Katie and today we're going to be reacting to some 1-star reviews of some of my favourite books. So this video may cause me some pain but I'm excited. I have a lot of fun doing these. It's been ages since I did one. I did like reacting to 1-star reviews of the Stormlight Archive before. And I'm sure I've maybe done another one. I'm not quite sure. But I'll leave it linked if I can find it. But yeah, we're going to be doing some other favourites today. So if you want to see any Stormlight reviews, then check out that video. Although that video is pretty old, so before I got my nice ring light and stuff. So don't judge the quality, please. But yes, I'm very excited. I've got my laptop here, which is looking a little bit sad because I haven't got any stickers for it yet because it's quite a new laptop. I only got it a couple of... I've had it for a few months now, so I feel like I really have no excuse. But yeah, I need to do some Redbubble shopping. Yeah. I do love a bit of sticker shopping. I've got Goodreads open. So the first book I thought I would do is Gideon the Ninth, because I'm a huge fan. And I actually thought some of the reviews might be quite entertaining. So let's go on to the... Oh, look at that. My review. There's like, I've reread it so many times. Anyway. Ooh, an author only gave it 2 stars. Drama. Okay. I have to scroll down quite a long way because a lot of my like Goodreads friends have read it. So many. You can always tell when a book's popular when there's like your friends section is like massive. Okay, here we go. Let's filter them. There is 1,112 1-star reviews. How do I get to them? There's quite a few of these 1-star I think are going to be DNFs, but anyway. Okay, this book suffers from the Tor hype, as did the Rune of Kings by Jen Leons, which I also highly disliked. I do feel like they are comparable. The writing is a mess. Character names are a load of mash. The main character is an absolute ass. She gets the chance to get off the planet and the literal response is go suck a dick. And this book tried so hard to be edgy and goth with skellies and dead and absolutely failed. Okay, so I do feel like there is comparison to be made between the Rune of Kings and Gideon the Ninth. They are both kind of chaotic fantasy, and I feel like if you don't like that type of thing, then you wouldn't like either of them. But I do feel like the writing is good. Like, it's very well, like, it just, I don't know, I feel like Gideon the writing just works. Like, it does seem like it could be a mess, and I feel like maybe if you don't click with it, that's maybe why you might feel it's a mess. But yeah, I don't agree with the character names because I feel like the character names are actually all like not normal names but they're not just fantasy mishmash. They are like genuine names. A lot of them are like characters of like ancient Greek or whatever, but I do feel like they're not just stupid names. And like all the like Nona Gesimus and things, that's like the 9, and like Octokizaron, that's like 8. So I feel like they are very clever names. I don't know. I'm getting defensive now. Yeah, that Gideon thing, that is just Gideon's character. And I guess if you don't like that, you don't like it. There's a review in Spanish. Can't read Spanish. Even though I do have a star in GCSE Spanish. Can't speak a word of it now. Oh no. This one, someone's very excited for lesbian necromancers in space. And then, unfortunately, it was a complete letdown, which breaks my queer little heart. It is really sad when like books that you're really hyped for, especially queer books, like turn out to be rubbish. There's the whole Silkfire drama, which if you've not been on Twitter, then that's a whole thing. I was probably initially gonna read that, but then saw all the reviews and like, no way. But yeah, or maybe we should look through some of those reviews, even though that's not on the topic of this video. Maybe I'll make another video. Yeah, life's too short to waste on books you aren't vibing with. That's very good advice. Okay, this is a good line. Imagine my surprise when I began reading this and it feeling like an angsty CW show that is trying wicked hard to be edgy. I always love it when things get compared to a CW show. I don't know. Yeah. That one just says, I don't get it. And there's a gif of Gaston looking at a book. with Belle in the background. Yeah. This is a DNF. I hate to say it, I hope I don't sound ridiculous. I don't know what the fuck is happening in this book. This book could be walking down the street. I wouldn't know a thing. Sorry to this book. I think a universal experience of reading the series that it is hard to understand what's going on, especially at first. And I feel like I've reread it 4 times, so now I know what's going on really well. But like, I think definitely the first time I read it, I was just like living for the vibes rather than anything else. This one's complaining that Gideon is a lesbian, but it's on the back burner. So they're clearly complaining that she's not in a relationship, which is stupid because, like, that still means, I don't know. I don't feel like a book has to have a relationship or a romance in to still be considered queer, if that makes sense. Like, as long as the character is. And I feel like Gideon is fairly, like, obviously. Like, it's not just, because sometimes it annoys me a bit in books where there's just like one throwaway comment, and that's like, I wouldn't really consider that like representation. I don't know, it's hard, but like Gideon is very clearly a lesbian. And I would say it's quite, yeah, so I don't agree with that criticism actually, but they do say, in fairness, they do say it's not really in space, which is fair. Okay, this book says Star Wars might have more sci-fi than this. Isn't Star Wars a complete sci-fi? Like, I've never seen Star Wars, so, but I'm sure that's like completely science fiction. So that's kind of a weird thing. I do agree that there's not a lot of science fiction in Gideon. There's more in Harrow, but yeah, I feel like there's a lot of complaining about it, the weird language, because it is like, it's almost like a weird cross between like poetic and crude. Another one comparing it to CW show. Poor CW shows. My heart has been crushed, ground, minced, and ultimately severed into a million pieces. That's pretty dramatic. I had so much expectations from this book. I was so freaking excited, but it was so freaking annoying. Aww. I wanted to cry myself to sleep while hugging this book, making me fall in love helplessly, then denying me of happiness. Oh, poor person. Okay, I don't know why this book is super hyped. The only good thing about this book is the cover. I despised every second of it. Don't agree with the review, but the cover is god tier, so I will let you have that. I have noticed something, and I mean, I think I do it too, so I'm a bit guilty of this, is when like an adult fantasy book, people don't like it. They always say it's like, that, like there's a review here which is like, it was unlabeled YA. I just don't know why we do that, because I mean, I do it sometimes. I don't think it's necessarily if I don't like a book, but sometimes they do, just sometimes adult fantasy books sometimes occasionally feel like YA. But I don't know why people use it as like a criticism. I don't know, because YA is its own genre. I feel, or not genre, age range. And I feel like you just go to books expecting different things. It's not necessarily bad, just different. I don't know. I feel like that could be a whole video. Because there's the whole thing about like adult fantasy female authors always getting labelled as YA, which is a whole other issue. So yeah, there's a lot to dig into there. This one says boring and dorky. It is quite dorky, which is probably actually why I love it. Yeah. In fact, there doesn't really seem to be a plot. I feel like there is definitely a plot. Okay. And the queer relationship I was looking forward to with such enthusiasm is not only characterised by a toxic power dynamic, but is also rife with abuse, contempt and disrespect. Yeah, it's not the book to read if you're looking for a healthy relationship. And in a weird way, like Gideon and Harrow, I don't really ship them like romantically so much. To me, they're more like Fitz and the Fool, like that kind of like platonic soulmates thing. I don't know. That's just how I feel. But yeah, the book, like, there is not a healthy relationship in sight, except for maybe Palamedes and Camilla. Yeah, but I feel like that's just part of the fun of the book. I don't know. Okay, we're gonna move on to A Little Hatred. because, well, Joe Abercrombie often posts reviews on his, like, he either does 5-star or 1-star reviews on his Twitter. My review was once featured. I was kind of embarrassed because it was my trouble with Peace review, and it was basically like Lady Ardy and Finnery teaming up, and I've died and gone to MILF heaven, which was not something I wanted to broadcast across the whole of Twitter, but no, it's okay. I accept my role as a MILF simp. There's also a lot of friends who've got this one on their thing. Hopefully that's some of my influence. Oh, the 0% 1-star reviews. There's only 143. That's interesting. Okay. So, this should be good. Okay, so this one says, well, by page 50, I'm bored. It's all dialogue, there's no world building, no revelations, no detail about what's going on in the world. Just endless introductions to blank characters who are predominantly female. Oh dear. And young. For the most part, it's giving the predominantly YA vibe. Again, with the YA slagging. I can't really relate to this at all. It's certainly not grim and dark. Okay, there's a lot to unpack there. So it's all dialogue, there's no world building. I think maybe I like books with lots of dialogue. So that probably didn't bother me. And also I feel like there's not a lot of world building because it is part, like, the world's already been built in a way, and I feel like there's a good enough, like, I feel like the world building of the, like, industry and everything is really done really well in the series, so I don't know about that. No revelations. Why would you expect a big revelation in the first 50 pages? I mean, they're now complaining about too many female characters. I can't complain about that. And also, I would say there's 4 main characters in the series, 2 are female, 2 are male, so that's equally balanced. I feel like just compared to the original First Law trilogy, where basically all the main characters are male, and I feel like Joe Abercrombie's female characters are excellent. So yeah, I mean, I'm not complaining about that, but you can do what you want. YA vibe, don't really agree with that. And I think maybe I can't really remember the first few pages of Little Hatred, but definitely it gets pretty dark. Like, with, yeah, so I don't know, depends what you want out of grimdark. I feel like how you define it. So there's not a lot of, like, gore. Yeah. Okay, the plot was that hard to recognise. Just look at the book description. The publisher doesn't even seem to know what it's about. So actually, I feel like the plot of the Age of Madness books is a lot better than the plot of the First Law, because the plot of the First Law books is just, what is plot? So I do sympathise with the publishers having to make a description for Joe Abercrombie books, because yeah, they are a bit just yeah. Okay, so this one says, imagine Sandan Glokta, that's one of the main characters from the First Law, were captured by the Gurkish and they threatened to torture him for years, but then the cavalry arrived, he was rescued safe and sound, and for the rest of the books kept telling people what a traumatising experience he'd had. That's the vibe I got from this book. Bad things threaten to happen to the main characters, but they don't happen. I think some other author it would be okay, but Abercrombie is the master of grimdark after all. I felt there was exceptionally little of grim and dark in this book. It was toothless and kind of boring. I actually read, like, with YA, but with lots and lots of sex. Okay, there is also a lot to unpack there. Because, okay, first of all, if you were captured and threatened to torture, I feel like that is just as good as torture, in a way. Like, you've been captured for years, that's still pretty traumatic. So that's a strange criticism in itself. Also, bad things threatening to happen to the main characters. Bad things do happen. Like, Sabine at one point is, like, on her, like, she's been battered and beaten up and is, like, crawling through the streets where there's this rebellion going on. That's pretty traumatizing. Yeah, it's definitely not as dark as the original First Law books, like, in terms of, but I feel like these people don't appreciate, like, that grimdark isn't just about, like, being tortured and have, like, there's other forms of trauma. I don't know. And also, I don't think there's lots and lots of sex. There's like a few sex scenes at most. These people obviously have never read a smutty romance book, but Joe Abercrombie sex scenes are a entity unto themselves. Honestly, they are very entertaining. Yeah. Actually, maybe Joe Abercrombie should write a smutty romance. I would read that. Okay, that was a very strange one. This person's saying that Abercrombie's ruined them for all of the books, but I don't understand how they've given this one star. Strange. I honestly don't understand by how people are saying that the like characters are so much worse in the first trilogy. I think the characters are way better. I don't know. They're just sexist. Okay, so this one says, now about the book characters. Ricky was okay, also was annoying. Savine was unbearable times 10. Leo's just not apparently exist. Yeah, I don't agree with that. I think Ricky was amazing. Also was amazing. Savine was amazing. No, okay. I can see why. I feel like I didn't start loving Orso as much till book 2. But yeah. That Savine criticism's hurting me. She's so good. But I guess if you don't like slightly evil female characters, then you might not like her, but you know. This book says this book was full of misandry. First of all, they've spelt misandry wrong, I'm pretty sure. And also, it's not. Let's not, yeah. And then alienating to his core audience. So basically, he's complaining that it doesn't appeal to straight white male tastes. But I think that's good, because then it means more people can enjoy the books. And I feel like if you're a nice straight white male person, you would enjoy reading about other experiences as well. So anyway, I'm just gonna start getting annoyed at these reviews now. Again. I was a huge fan of Abercrombie's first saga. I was really looking forward to reading this book. I pre-ordered the book and counted the days, and then this dribble. I don't know if Abercrombie had a stroke or joined a cult, but the book certainly reads that way. Everything I loved about his former writing is gone. Gone are the unique and fascinating, if somewhat tainted, underdog characters. Gone is the thrill of reading. Gone is the interesting pre-industrial setting with the ebbing of magic in the world. So I think his writing style is basically the same. The characters are still interesting. They're not, I guess, underdog characters. Well, not so much, maybe. But I don't feel like they're underdogs in the first trilogy anyway. It's not pre-industrial setting anymore because it's Industrial Revolution, which I think is even more interesting in of itself. Yeah. Now it's complaining about that it's everyone's writing about pollution, social injustice, exploitation. How can you like read the first Law trilogy, not realise that's essentially talking about social injustice, and then read the second trilogy, maybe a bit more explicit in its themes, but still, like, I feel like, I don't know. The daughter of Glockter, they can't even be bothered to use a name, would fit perfectly into Twilight. They're literally not causing, they're not using the characters' names, they're just describing them as character, like their relation to the character from the original trilogy. Okay, this is a good one though, this description of Leo. Brock Jr. with his mummy issues reminded me of Prince Charming from the Shrek series. A naive young girl's wet dream. Unfortunately, however, I am not a young girl. I only found him embarrassing. Yeah. Someone did not read the book. Well, okay, I do see the comparison to Prince Charming, I will admit, but yeah. Okay, furthermore, it seems that Abercrombie nowadays as well follows the mainstream doctrine that demands women are omnipotent and clever and almost angel-like creatures, while men are incapable and dumb brutes. A true disgrace. I feel like this, a lot of these one-star reviews are a bit sexist. But I also think, well, I love that dynamic where women, like femdom dynamic, but Abercrombie's always written women like that, I feel like, except for maybe Ferry, because I don't really like her that much, but like even in Best Served Cold, like the Monster Shivers dynamic is that. So I feel like Abercrombie's always written like that, and I don't understand why. Maybe in this book because it's just a little bit more explicit type thing, but yeah. Okay. I don't want to say it's overly political. It was overly political, but it felt overly political. It read like it was some socialist, anti-capitalist manifesto, but after the chaos of revolution, only an idiot would want to live in the world. There are a few like communist manifesto type lines, but yeah, I feel like it's a political book, so yeah, I don't see that as a criticism. It's interesting how a lot of these 1-star reviews are from men. Very interesting. Yeah, this one really. Wow, Abercrombie has gone full wake. This book ticks every SJW talking point. Great job. I feel like when you see that as a criticism, it's not really a criticism. It's more of a tells you more about the reviewer than the book, I think. Okay, this one. But if you like YA fantasy, YA romance with many feminist elements, idiotic men, and some grim elements, this is for you. Oh, yeah. I think some men are just bitter that they didn't have a Logan 2.0, when in fact Logan is the most boring character in existence. I feel like if you are watching my channel and you have similar taste to me in any way, or you care about social issues in the world, you will like Age of Madness more than First Law. Like, yeah. Okay, we're gonna do one more book, and we are going to do, what should we do? Okay, let's look at some 1-star reviews for a Becky Chambers book. It's probably just going to be people complaining that it's boring, but oh, there's a few 2 stars in my friends, my Goodreads friends. People with no taste, obviously. But I feel like 2-star reviews, sometimes that's where like you get that it was boring, I didn't really like it. But the 1-star reviews is where they're like people who really did not like it. This one has quite a few 1-star reviews at, well, 1%, but 1,689. Okay. Oh, that's very interesting. This person picked it up on the basis of a recommendation of someone 2015 roundup in The Guardian. But I'm sure that The Long Way to a Small Angry Planet was in The Guardian, because I always, like, my parents get The Guardian, and I sometimes look in the like review section where the books are, and I always feel like the books in there are not the kind of books that I read. They're always a bit literary and pretentious type books. Yeah. So I'm impressed that The Long Way to a Small Angry Planet made it into The Guardian. The wafer thin plot could be summarised as a bunch of super best friends who have a wizzo time pootling about the galaxy, eating food and learning trite lessons on the importance of diversity with zero tension or conflict. Perfect for a 21st century audience who wants to feel cozy and be spoon-fed all the answers. Not gonna lie, I do want that sometimes. Yeah, it's complaining that it's just unchallenging as a piece of art. I mean, I can see that, but I don't think its purpose is to be challenging. I think its purpose is to just be comfortable. I don't know. Comforting. Okay, I did have some fun with it, but around 60%, the amount of sweetness and cheesiness became overwhelming. Character-driven sci-fi should have proper characters and character development, not Care Bears in alien costumes. The book is just too naive. Everyone is so nice, polite, warm and expecting, and the bad characters are just stereotypically bad. The Care Bears in alien costumes, that line, I think that's going in the thumbnail. Yeah. I mean, it is very, like, everyone's very nice, but I feel like that's the thing with Becky Chambers books, is they present like an optimistic vision of the future, rather than the depressing reality that is reality. There is a scene with pirates in the book. Even the pirates are reasonable and fairly nice. Aww. Oh, this person says, it's badly written, badly plotted, badly paced, with terrible dialogue, poorly sketched characters, and very little actual science fiction. Yet when I say so, I feel like I'm kicking a kitten. Oh, how dare I be so mean to such a nice book. I feel like it's just like not, it's just like a kind book. I don't know. If you want like action and drama, don't read this book. Welcome to Becky Chambers' after school special in space, where we learn the value of friendship, family, and interspecies erotica. If you've ever fantasized about fucking your computer, a lizard woman, or a chicken thing on an otherwise G-rated, not funny sitcom on a spaceship, you're going to love this book. 1-star reviews sometimes are just their own majesty. Yeah, that was quite fun. And yeah, I hope you all enjoyed this video. If you want more, I could do more of my favourite books, although it's slightly painful sometimes, but yeah. I just feel like, I guess everyone is entitled to their own opinion, and it's quite fun sometimes, I think, seeing people's differing opinions from yourself. That's, I think, the beautiful thing about reading. It's like you can read the exact same text and just get 2 completely different experiences out of it. So yeah, if you enjoyed the video, please give a like and consider subscribing if you haven't already. And I hope everyone is having a really great day, and I will see you next time.